Okay. So this is the only thing that I have for Scandoval this week outside of the hour and a half I spent talking about it on Patreon. But there is this Urban Dictionary entry that was found. It's dated February of 2022, and it's for Raquel Sandoval. So it says, the most beautiful girl out there. Yes, she is impulsive, and yes, she is very strong, but inside, she's the most calming woman out there. If you find a Raquel Sandoval, you should marry her. If not, then she's already taken. Person 1, hey, is that Raquel Sandoval? Person 2, yeah, and guess what? I'm going to marry her. And this was written by an anonymous person in February of 2022. Now, if you'll remember, their affair was found out in March of 2023. Which just sort of points to my theory that this has been going on for a minute.
Uh-huh.
I mean, like, is it possible that there's another Raquel Sandoval?
That's what I was thinking. I was like, is there somebody out there who's unfortunately called that? And well, just unfortunately for the moment, not generally. It's like, lovely name. Who just unwittingly put up something that looks like a thing that Raquel wrote a year ago when she was maybe actively pursuing something, or I don't know, trying to make something happen. I don't know. It's like, it gives me the heebie-jeebies.
So someone points out in the comments of this Reddit post that the way that Raquel interacts with his friend Ali, who passed away, like that he had leaked this to the Reddit because he was like pretty much on top of things with all of this when it happened. But she had texted him, Tom wants me to text you and let you know he loves you. He's literally sitting with me crying and super upset. And again, he has not told me anything. He just said, please let him know I love him. And the guy writes back, I don't care. His mom wants him to come home. He lied to her about who he was meeting. No lie, homie. I don't give an absolute shit about how he's feeling right now. Tom is a selfish, narcissistic person. Bro, I talk to him. 1, when he needs something. 2, when he comes in town. So, yeah, I guess, like, there's that. I don't know if I agree that that's, like, super similar typing, but I will say I do love, generally speaking, when people get into the weeds like that.
Well, my little piece of Scandoval news is that I watched part 1 of the reunion.
How are you feeling?
Oh my God, what a mess. What a mess.
I know.
What a
I know.
mess.
I'm so like thankful that you caught up because we probably are going to have to unpack some of the reunion part 3. Oh, I think also, by the way, I have to confirm this, but Kate Arthur from Variety agreed to do an episode with me that we're going to put in the main feed, sort of just unpacking this. She's been, very much involved in this. She was the one who actually got the quote from the producer, Adam, about there being a big reveal in episode 3. So she's very much in this world and is going to be a great interview. I just have to like double confirm with her that she's going to be able to do it. Cause I honestly felt like I was asking the president, like if I was like DMing Joe Biden to see if he had some free time. But yeah.
That's so good. Oh God. So I watched the episode that was called Scandoval, where, it's the episode where they're having those conversations. And then I watched Reunion Part 1, and then Reunion Part 2 wasn't out at that point, so I have to watch that. But then also I've been unwell. And I'm worried about if I ingest media that excites me too much, like what that might do for my physical health.
Sure.
So I've just been watching a lot of SVU, but I was gobsmacked. I mean, what a delicious, terrible little mess this is. And I it's really funny because like I must have watched more of Vanderpump Rules than I gave myself credit for, because like I knew all of with the exception of like Lala or whatever, I knew all of the players. I forgot how unhinged James is. Like,
oh yeah,
he's a lot. Like, he is a lot.
You're a worm with a mustache.
Yeah. When he was like, when Tom did that little kind of like, I just want to say sorry to, thank you to, like when they were like, Andy was like, oh, do you want to say anything? And he's like, I don't want to say. Like Tom Sandoval was crying, and then James goes, shut up, you little prick, shut up, you pussy, come on, wah, wah.
I
Like,
know. That's like the best part of being able to watch it on Peacock, or I guess Hey You for you guys, is that they're doing like completely uncensored episodes. So you get to really hear them. And it's powerful when you hear them be like, mother, so you didn't see this in part 2. But Tom calls Ariana a motherfucker. And then Lisa calls him out. And then we get a clip of him like leaving to go smoke a cigarette. And he goes, I'm blowing it. Just to himself. It's very like people are comparing it to the Jinx. Yeah. Yeah.
I
So it's yeah.
In a weird way, I'm actually very grateful for the restraining order, because cutting back to Raquel in the trailer,
Mhm.
watching things unfold, is quite delicious in and of itself.
Okay, here's my question, because people are really railing on her reactions or potentially lack thereof. Do you think that though they're cutting to what she actually looked like in real time during those
No,
moments?
no,
Right?
no. Of course not. I think she would have been incredibly guarded, obviously, about her reactions. That said, it does add a little spicy dimension to things. Like, and also it means that, like, funnily enough, there's like, I think like had she come out from the offset, then it would have been kind of like a lot of energy would have been expelled very quickly,
Yeah.
regardless of how they tried to kind of like shape and like guide the narrative for it to be able to be stretched over 3. The fact that like she's being held back is definitely like there's a second wind, right? Like, so that everybody
Yeah.
expends a certain amount of, like, at the beginning, I mean, the energy is like toddler energy. Like Andy can't finish a question, like it's just like just wild like shouting and like childish, and James calling people a poo poo head or whatever he was doing. And
Yeah.
then it's like there's like and then they kind of like children kind of burn out, and then they start to have like, you know, slightly more normal conversations. But then it's like there's this kind of Chekhov's Raquel sat in the wings, like about to go off.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm very I'll be real with you. If I was in Raquel's position, I would be very numb.
Hmm.
Like, I probably also would disappoint with the reaction I'd be giving, because my body would be in such a state of self-preservation
Yeah.
that I would just like numb out, and then like obviously once it was over I'd probably cry for weeks. But
Hmm.
that tends to be how I respond to unpleasant or sort of gnarly information, is to just shut down.
Yeah. Fucking same.
Like, I've been in so many situations where people are like, "Why aren't you upset about this?" Because, like, I can be very reactive as well.
Hmm.
And I'm like, "Oh, no, I am. I'm not gonna, everyone else is freaking out. I'm not gonna freak out too." You know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's also one of the reasons why I find it really difficult to be able to assess what my feeling is in any given moment, because like as a default, my body will choose like numbness until such a time that like I can unbox that thing. But it happens all the time for like the most minor shit for me. Like somebody will ask
Sure.
me for feedback on something, and like I cannot in that moment give an initial reaction, because I'm like, I don't know what I feel right now. I don't know I don't know what my feelings are. I'll get back to you in an hour.
I also am very cautious of how, like, harsh I can sometimes be. And because, like, I'm not great at giving constructive criticism, because usually I'm just like, honestly, like, this is beneath you,
Mm,
which is like really a really bad note to give.
mm,
And so sometimes I'm the same way with feedback, where I'm just like, I don't know if I can give you what you want or need right now.
mm-hmm.
But Yeah, I don't know. It's sometimes it'll take me years to be upset about something,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then one day I'll be in the car and it will just hit me like, "Oh my God. Like that was really bad.
Yeah.
That hurt my feelings.
Mhm.
Like I have complicated feelings about this."